Hey guys, welcome to the last lesson for Unit 7, and this is on mean absolute deviation. So we talked about measures of center. Remember that would be mean, median, and mode. And we've also been working on measures of variability. So range is one of those. And then today we're going to talk about mean absolute deviation. So how do our values deviate? How do they differ from the mean? So when we're talking about the spread of data, we're talking about measures of variability. And like I said, today we're specifically talking about mean absolute deviation. So we're talking about, on average, how far are these values from the mean? To do that, the first thing we have to do is find the mean of the data. So remember, mean you have to add and then divide by however many pieces of data you have. Then we're going to find the distance that each of those is from the mean using subtraction. And then we're going to find the mean of all of that. Okay, so it's basically finding the mean twice. Here we have our first example, and you're going to be doing this as well. Bonnie surveyed 6 classmates about the number of hours of TV they watched each week. What is the mean absolute deviation of the set of data? So the first thing we want to do is actually find the mean. So to do that, we're going to add 4 plus 6, 7, 7.5, 10, 13.5. We get 48. We have 6 pieces of data here. 48 divided by 6 is 8. So on average, these students watch about 8 hours of TV. But that's not what they want. They want the mean absolute deviation. So we want to know about how far away are each of those values from 8. So we're going to set up a table here. I do apologize for these lines. I tried to get rid of them, but I was unsuccessful. So each of our numbers from up top are in the table here: 4, 6, 7, 7.5, 10, 13.5. And we're going to use subtraction to figure out how far away they are from the mean. So the mean was 8. 8 is 4 away from 4. 6 is 2 away. 7 is 1 away. 7.5 is a half away. 10 is 2 away. And then I don't think you can see that last one is 13.5. It is 5.5 away from our average, our mean of 8. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is finding our mean. Then we're going to figure out how far away each number is from that mean. So now what? Now we're going to take all of these values that we just got, and we're going to find the mean one last time. So we had 4, 2, 1.5, 2, 5.5. 6 numbers, add them up, divide by 6. So 15 divided by 6 is going to give us 2.5. So our students are about 2.5 hours off from the mean on average. So when it says here for B, what does the mean absolute deviation mean in terms of the data set? On average, the number of hours students watch TV per week is within about 2.5 hours of the mean. So on average, they watch 8, they're about 2.5 away. So 2.5 more, so around 10.5, or 2.5 less, which would be 5.5. Okay. This is on your handout, so you need to make sure you follow along. I'm going to be looking for this when you turn in your work. What is the mean absolute deviation of the set? Remember, we have 3 steps. Find the mean, figure out how far each number is from the mean, and then find the mean of all of those. So let's start by finding the mean. We have 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Go ahead and pause this. Add it up and see what you get. Did you get 49? Because you should have, oops, I went a little too far there. So 49 divided by 7, because we have 7 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When we divide that out, we have an average of 7. So on average, the kids eat about 7 pieces of fruit each week. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for mean absolute deviation. So let's set up that table to find out how far each of those is from the mean. So here are our numbers: 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, and again I think the bottom one got cut off. You should have an 11 at the bottom of your table. How far is each of these from our mean of 7? So subtract all of these. 7, take away 2 is 5, take away 4 is 3, take away 6 is 1. 7 is 0 away from 7. There's a distance of 0 there. Now we're going the opposite direction. 9 is 2 away, 10 is 3 away, and at the bottom, again, you can't see it, but it is there, 11 is 4 away. So we've done step 1. We found our mean. We've done step 2. We've calculated all of the distances for our values. Now, third and final step. Take these numbers, our distances, find the mean of those. So add them all up, divide by 7. 5 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. When you get that, go ahead and pause, do the work. You should have gotten 18. Now we have 7 values, so we need to divide 18 by 7. Your average here for your mean absolute deviation is 2 and 5700ths. It actually goes on, but we're just going to stop there and then round it to 2 and 6/10 because it does not divide evenly. So mean of absolute deviation means these students, on average, they eat 7 pieces of fruit each week, but that could deviate about 2.5, 2.6 pieces of fruit. So maybe they eat almost 10, so like 9.5, down to 4. All right, let's go on to another version. What does this value mean in terms of data set? Well, I just explained this. On average, students eat within 2.6 pieces of fruit of the mean number of pieces of fruit, which was 7. So 2.6 more, 2.6 less. All right, here we have dot plots. We did struggle with dot plots. 2 classes were surveyed regarding the number of pets they have at home. Which class's data set below has the larger mean absolute deviation? Explain your reasoning. So we've got Mr. Peters' class, we've got Mr. Chan's class. Each number down here tells us how many pets they have. Each dot represents students. So 2 kids here have no pets. 3 kids have 1 pet. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students have 2 pets. 6 students have 3 pets. 5 have 4 pets, and only 1 student has 5 pets. And then we can do the same thing over here. Here we have a lot. 6 have no pets. 3 have 1 pet. 3 students have 2 pets. 2 students have 3 pets. 1 student has 4 pets. And look at all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students have 5 pets. So if we were to calculate the mean, and I'm not working this out, remember you would add 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 5. You would add all of those up. We'd get 56. Mrs. Peters' class has 23 students. When we divide, we get about 2 and 4/10. When we do the same thing for Mr. Chan's class, again, all these zeros, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Add all of those up. You get a total of 54 when we divide that by the 22 dots. His average is 2.5. So their means are very close. They have about the same number of pets. 2.4 pets, 2.5 pets for each class. But it's asking us who has the larger mean of absolute deviation. So if we think about that, look at Mrs. Peters' class. Do you see how all of these dots are pretty much centered on that dot plot, right? They're all pretty close together. But if you look at Mr. Chan's class, most of the students are on the outer ends. So when you compare that to our mean, which was right around 2.5, this data is all really close. This data is more far apart. So 2.5 would be here. You got more kids out far to the left and far to the right. So this data set right here deviates more from the mean. The actual values are farther away from the average, which was around 2.5. Here, they're much closer together. So your mean was, I don't remember if it's 2.4, 2.5. Either way, it's right here, and all of those dots are pretty close together. So when it asks who has the larger mean of absolute deviation, that's Mr. Chan's class, because those dots are farther away from the mean. All right, so this one you are going to write down in your notes. So again, I'm looking for this in your handout. If it's not answered, it's going to be kicked back to you as incomplete. Which data set has a larger mean of absolute deviation? Explain how you know without calculating. So we don't want to calculate anything. We just want to think about it. So if you look at graph A, right, we don't even know what this data is about. We're just looking at the dots. So we've got a dot down here to 50, one here at about 53. Then we've got a cluster right around 58, right? See how this is all kind of together? And then we've got these that drag out kind of farther away, 62, 63, down here to 66. Now when you compare that to graph B, look at graph B. It's more centered, right? All of these are clustered in the middle. You don't have any dots that stretch far away from that. We don't have any like outliers, right? So if you're thinking about who has a greater, the larger mean of absolute deviation, who's going to be more spread out? Well, if you look at your dots, graph A has dots that are way more spread out than graph B. So graph A will have the greater mean of absolute deviation. Okay? Graph A has a larger mean of absolute deviation because it has additional values, 50 and 66, so your outliers here, that are farther from the center of the data. So the dot plots make it easier to get an idea of that. That's the end. Make sure you practice this, turn in your notes. You do have a test coming up because like I said, this was the last video. Send me a message if you need any help, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, guys.